the Egyptian Ankh cross found in Mexico. So obviously this is not a coincidence. What kind of communication did they have? Calixtlahuaca, present-day Toluca, has one of the most mysterious objects discovered in Mexico. The monument number 4, cross altar or trompantli, share an incredible similarity to the Ankh cross of ancient Egypt. The Ankh, also known as the key of life, was the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphic character that read life. It actually represents the concept of eternal life, which is, according to historians, the general meaning of this symbol. And we see here in the image, on the left-hand side is the Egyptian hieroglyph of the Ankh and the construction of the Ankh cross in Mexico. It's one of the most important ancient Egyptian symbols, yet one of the most mysterious ones because the origin of the symbol remains a mystery to Egyptologists even today, and not a single hypothesis has been fully accepted. The symbol frequently appears in Egyptian tomb paintings and other art, often at the fingertips of a god or goddess in images that represent the deities of the afterlife. A symbol similar to the Ankh frequently appears in the Minoan and Mycenaean sites of Greece and Crete, and it often appears in coins from ancient Cyprus as well, and Asia Minor, and it's also used to represent the planet Venus and the metal copper. The symbol frequently appears in Egyptian tomb paintings and other art, often at the fingertips, as we said, of gods and goddesses representing deities of the afterlife. Now, what is the Ankh symbol doing in Mexico? That's the question. The archaeological site of Calixtlahuaca, located about 2,500 meters, and there are several monuments present on the site. Out of these structures, we pick out the trompantli structure. A trompantli is a type of wooden rack or palisade documented in several Mesoamerican civilizations. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box. It was used for public display of skulls, typically of war captives or sacrificial victims, and a scaffold-like construction of poles, things like that. Very gruesome. Now, the trompantli present in Calixtlahuaca is a cross altar decorated with skulls and had skulls carved in stone embedded in the structure as well. Originally had more than 10, today there are only 2 original and the replica of the 3rd. But what makes this construction so mysterious is that it resembles the Egyptian symbol of the Ankh cross. According to Richard Casaro, the Aztecs and the Egyptians were parallel civilizations in many ways. Despite having evolved on opposite sides of the Atlantic Ocean, both cultures built pyramids, both used solar symbolism, and both believed in life after death, preparing their dead for a journey to the afterlife via an elaborate and highly ritualistic ceremony. The similarity between some structures found in Calixtlahuaca when compared to some symbols and structures found in Egypt is quite interesting. Both of these cultures had a similar use of the Tau cross. The ancient Egyptian Ankh was the Tau cross that has a loop on top of it. Ancient Aztecs and Mayas used a similar symbolism in their cross. That apparently comes from the Tau cross without the loop that ancient Egyptians used. This is why the Ankh cross found in Mexico is fascinating. Why would the Aztecs deliberately deviate from their convention use of the Tau cross and modify it like they did in Calixtlahuaca by adding a loop just like the Egyptians had? To the Egyptians, the Ankh symbol was a very important glyph that was connected to the afterlife. The ancient Egyptians were extremely spiritual, and they firmly believed that a person continues to live in the afterlife, and that is why the Ankh cross was so important to them. In Central America, we have a similar story when we talk about the Mayas and Aztecs, as they believed that a person would continue to live in the afterlife. The Tau cross was inscribed on the forehead of every person admitted into the ministries of Mithras. When a king was initiated into the Egyptian mysteries, the Tau was placed against his lips, and it was tattooed on the bodies of the candidates in some of the American Indian mysteries. To the Kabbalists, the Tau stood for heaven and the Pythagorean tetractys, the caduceus of Hermes, and the outgrowth of the Tau cross, sacred texts. There are many monuments at Calitlahuaca that have not been excavated yet. There's plenty of work to be done on that site, and archaeologists are hoping to uncover more information about this ancient complex and their inhabitants. This was from Ancient Codes on Humans Are Free. Obviously, this is again not a coincidence. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support.